Ms. Reed, you are suing Ms. Gonzalez for $1,200, the cost of a venue that you'd reserved for a birthday party, which went south very quickly. According to you, that was her fault. Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I met Maria about a year ago. Both of our kids attend the same daycare. We got to talking when we are in the pickup lines together about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And
how old are the kids?
They're both 4 years old.
Okay.
So one of the times that we had a conversation, about a couple weeks before our incident, we had chatted about my child's allergen issues and how difficult it was to make meals for him at home. Specifically, dairy has been a little bit of a difficult one lately, but he has a variety of allergens.
What did you tell her about your child's allergies?
That it was mostly just difficult to figure out recipes for him, things like that. He had a little bit of internal stuff going on, so it was quite difficult. One of the things that she related to me on was that her nephew actually suffered from very similar allergy issues, and that she had difficulty making meals for him as well. So having that coinciding to each other, I was surprised when the incident had happened.
All right, so you had a party, and tell me about the party.
That party, it was my annual Christmas ugly sweater party. I usually have about 100 guests, split between children and adults, about 50-50. It's really fun. We have a ton of food. We usually have a piñata for the kids, and I thought it would be a phenomenal idea to invite Maria and her son Jace to come be a part of it this year, as our sons get along really well. She had actually texted me, and I would love to give you a copy of that text here,
yes,
if I could, asking if she could help out with anything. And I told her no, I handle everything. Like I said, this is an annual thing. I really know what I'm doing, and that I just wanted her and her son to show up, have fun, have your ugly sweaters on.
Can I bring anything? Thanks again for the invite. No, don't bring anything. Just come with your festive attire. My son will be happy to see you both. Okay?
Correct. Exactly. So instead of following what I had asked her to on my text message, instead she showed up about an hour and a half early.
Early?
Early.
Early?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Did you show up early?
I did.
Why?
I wanted to see if she needed any help.
Wait, how about asking, hey, would you like me to come early and help you? No or yes. Like, how about leaving it up to her instead of just ringing the doorbell an hour and a half before? I mean, that's what. If the idea is to reduce the stress, that would just incredibly increase my stress that I now had to deal with you while I was trying to deal with the party.
Well, in this case, I really helped out a lot. She was actually happy that I showed up.
Isn't that her decision whether she wants you at her house an hour and a half early before the party?
It was at a venue, and she needed my help. She was.
How about we leave that up to her, right? Because what happened? Why don't you tell me what happened, since she seems to have needed your help so badly?
So I show up about an hour early, and she's all over the place. The decorations aren't up yet. The food's not served yet. You know, she was frantic.
Why would the food be served? The party hadn't started.
Exactly.
Well, you know, appetizers and everything was all over the place. So I help her out, and she was very thankful about that.
Help her out by doing what?
Putting the decorations up, start the tables, setting up the appetizers, and I brought goodie bags, which I forgot to tell her because I was trying to help her with everything.
You brought goodie bags? Just a moment. You brought goodie bags for whom?
For the kids, for the
How many kids
guests.
were going? How would you know how many kids were going to be there? It wasn't your party.
Well, she does this every year, and that's another reason why I was really excited about that she invited us this year. So that's another reason why I came in early. I was just so excited. I wanted to help her out. I know she needed the help.
You didn't answer my question. How would you know how many goodie bags to bring if it is not your party?
I have an idea. We talk a lot.
So how many goodie bags did you bring?
I brought 75.
75 goodie bags?
Yes, with candies, bubbles, a little toy for the kids. Yeah.
Okay, and then you get there an hour and a half early and you don't tell her about that?
I completely forgot to mention about the goodie bags.
How old were all the children? Various ages?
Yeah, various ages.
Choking ages?
With all due respect, but what were you thinking? We all know the saying about good intentions, right? And where they lead. So this is the perfect example of that. So she really meant well, or looks like. She also is a mother, and she has a child, and her nephew has the same condition, in fact, which is food allergies. So as a mother, I don't really understand how you could take the liberty to distribute goodie bags, not to their parents, not to the hostess to check for potential hazards, but to kids directly. If someone is giving out candies or whatever it is in those goodie bags to my child, bypassing me, I'm going to have a big problem with that. I don't know you. I don't know what's going on in your head. I don't know how old your child is and how vast your knowledge is about different age brackets. What is appropriate for a 6-year-old is not appropriate for a 2-year-old. And to keep that in mind and put everything of the same in the bags and distribute it to kids of various ages, she was asking for trouble by doing that. And I do believe in my heart that she's doing more harm than good at this point. Let's go back.
Say it again. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think 4 years old is a choking age, especially on
Well,
certain
I mean,
toys.
not like 1 is or 2 is, but were there 1 or 2-year-old children there?
There was a few small children.
How
but
many
they
children were
with
there
adults.
entirely?
Like I said, it was split about 50-50, so
Okay.
about 50 children.
Okay, so go on.
So I started.
So she brings these things. Does she tell you she brought these things? She
No.
says no.
No.
So you have no clue.
No idea.
When do you get a clue?
Right when my sister actually starts screaming my name, saying that my son Roger is having a reaction and that he's going into anaphylaxis and we need to bring him to the ER. So in that moment, I had to unfortunately tell everybody at the party that we had to shut it down. It had only been about an hour, hour and a half into the party at that time.
How is it that you, as a mother of a 4-year-old, so you have been around all these places, daycares, everything, where nowadays it's so different, everybody's so on top of the allergies. How is it you decide you're going to distribute food to a bunch of kids? Because you gave the bags to the kids directly. What are you thinking? Let's just back up. What are you thinking making 75 goodie bags for a party that you've been told not to bring anything to? I guess that's what I'm wondering too.
I understand.
What would possess you, like if someone says, no, don't bring anything. I figure that they don't want what I bring to clash with what they've already got planned. They've got it well in hand. And so I don't show up with goodie. What if she had her own goodie bags and your goodie bags are better than hers?
I just wanted to show appreciation for the invite.
Why don't you send her flowers after the event when she needs them or give her a spa appointment?
I thought I like to do stuff like that. I like to.
How'd that work out for you?
In this case,
Not great, right?
not great.
How do you think
I
it worked?
feel
What's your
terrible.
son's name?
Roger.
Well, how did it work out for Roger?
I feel terrible.
You should, because it worked out really poorly for Roger and Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, because that should be a day full of wonderful memories, and instead, you crossed a boundary that you shouldn't have crossed. You are literally making 75 bags for a party that's not your party to do that to. I mean, it's just like it's beyond. It's extra. It's too much, and the reasons why it is extra is because something like this can happen and did. Do you normally have an EpiPen with you?
I carry one. I did not have one at the venue at this time.
Because that's a very bad, that's bad. That's very bad,
Yeah.
Mom.
You're right.
There's no room for error for a child which has this kind of sensitivity to stuff. So you should have your EpiPen. I don't know why you just pointed at her. That doesn't excuse you. But go ahead. Show me what the hospital records say.
And I have to agree with Judge Millian regarding this point. If you have a child with a serious condition where an allergy reaction can show itself at any setting, you have to have the pen on you at all times. It's better be prepared and not need it than not be prepared and need it. And that's exactly what happened here. And I understand it could have slipped your mind, but it is a serious condition that your child has. And to go, especially to a place where food is served, and not be prepared for that sort of scenario is a bit careless. Again, doesn't excuse the defendant for taking the liberty and distributing the goodie bags to begin with. So let's go back.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have Benadryl? Did you have anything?
I had some Benadryl in the car, but since we were going to the ER, I didn't want to give him anything at that moment
Yeah.
since he was having breathing
What did the doctor
problems.
tell you about what you should have done? Given the Benadryl?
We should have given him an epinephrine pen if we had one on hand, which we do at home, like I said, but we
Yeah, no,
should have
that
had
pen
one.
belongs in your purse,
Correct.
and then you never change purses.
Correct.
Okay.
Your
yeah.
Honor,
no, I
even
imagine.
after she left to the hospital, I stayed behind to try to help out and, calm everything down, clean everything up. I feel horrible. I felt
I know
horrible.
you do. I know you
And
do.
I texted her while she was at the hospital to make sure that she was okay, to make sure Roger was okay, and asked if there's anything that I could do. If I
Well,
could.
now she feels it. Now she's come up with something you can do. She wants you to pay back the $1,200 she spent to rent the venue.
Well,
so,
Your Honor,
go
I
ahead.
don't think that I should have to pay for a venue for the
That
cost
you
of
ruined?
the venue. I mean, the party didn't have to stop.
It could have gone out without the hostess or her son, right? That's what you're saying. Come on. It's her call, it's her party. And that's the call she made, whether you and I agree with it or not. At the end of the day, you ruined her party, at least for her, okay? And so she wants you to pay for the venue because you took a liberty that you shouldn't have taken in this day and age.
But I have a text message asking her if there's anything that I could do, and she didn't say, help me pay the venue, or
No, that could occur to her later.
at
What
the
what
ER.
did she say, by the way?
I'm with my child at the ER.
Yeah,
during
it doesn't matter. No, I don't need anything, but thank you. That's fine. And so after that, it occurred to her, she ruined my party. I'd like the money back for the venue.
Correct.
And I think she's right because I realize from the bottom of my soul that you, from the bottom of your soul, thought you were doing something lovely. The problem is that, in particular, in the case of a woman who has explained to you that their child has allergies, never mind her child, all the other children who could have allergies there. And then not only are you bringing goodie bags to a party that is not your party, you're doing it without telling her. Okay, so you're bringing the bags to begin with, which is crossing a boundary. You're doing it without telling her, which is crossing a bigger boundary. Number two, you did that without even consulting her. Number three, you didn't hand them to her when you walked in, which would be, okay, then she makes a decision whether to serve them or not. You handed them to the children. See, there were so many places here where you took liberties that may have been well-intentioned, but you have to understand, when someone comes to court and sues you for damages, it doesn't mean you're a terrible person. It doesn't mean, I don't have to conclude that you are evil or mean-spirited or anything like that. I have to conclude that you violated a duty of care that we all owe each other. And in this day and age, that is exactly what you did. Okay? I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,200.
Before having kids, when my husband and I used to have those parties and celebrations, we had one guest whose favorite saying was, I'm the first one to come and the last one to leave. And for some reason, he thought that was an amazing quality. And both my husband and I would just look at each other and roll our eyes, because there is nothing worse than a guest who shows up early. You are running around trying to get yourself ready, trying to get everything ready, and trying to get everything situated. And now you have this guest at the door who now you have to entertain, and you feel obligated to actually do something for him at that point, although the party officially hasn't even started yet. So just don't do it. Just a word of caution. Don't do it unless agreed upon previously, and there is actually an understanding between the guest and the host that the guest is going to come and help with everything that needs to be set up, rearranged, decorated, whatever it is. But don't just show up without any previous notice. And I agree with the judge. Of course, she owes for the venue. And I would also charge her for the ER bill if they got any. I don't know if she didn't mention that. If they had to come out of the pocket, I would also sue her for that amount as well. Because don't just do something like this, especially when the kids are involved. By not informing the host about the content of the goodie bag, you're being careless and you're being disrespectful towards the host. What did you guys think about this case? Do you agree with the judgment? Please put it in your comments below, and thank you so much for watching.